The volleyball team has a busy week.
And the ice hockey team starts league play.
This is All Access, and it starts right now. The show that's never rusty, like Tom Brady, who did not miss a beat last week coming off of his Deflategate suspension. I'm Chris Devine.
And I'm Cody Decker. He did play the Browns. Let's all remember that. But also, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. We should respect that he is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. While he has been preparing for a day with A.J. Green and the Bengals this week, our pro sports teams have been quite busy. So let's start with the latest on the soccer field. Ladies first, of course. Chris?
Thanks, Cody. That's right, ladies always first, and the Rowan women's soccer team shutout streak may have ended, but they are still undefeated with a win over Montclair State on Saturday by a score of 3-2. In the 32nd minute, Catherine McCary scored on a rebound chance assisted by Megan McKinley. The Redhawks responded as Rael Sansone headed in a free kick from Aaron Sullivan to tie the score at 1 through the first half. In the 55th minute, Danny Kitzinger found the net to give the Profs the lead back. They would double their lead about 5 minutes later from Maxine New. Sansone would get her second goal of the game for the Redhawks in the 76th minute, but it was not enough to come back and force extra time.
On Wednesday, Glassboro native Shannon Riardigan headed the only goal of the game for the Profs Wednesday night against Rutgers Camden. Good news for the Profs was that goaltender Shelby Money turned away all 6 shots she faced, so that 1 goal was enough for the win. Money recorded her 10th shutout of the season. The team is now 13-0-1 overall and on a 5-0-1 record in the conference. They are also ranked 14th in the nation and 3rd in the South Atlantic region.
The Profs men's soccer team rallied for a comeback victory over Montclair on Saturday night. The comeback was propelled by Travis Ward's hat trick. The New Egypt native scored the tying and go-ahead goals to keep the soccer team unbeaten. Down 2-0, Ward scored with 15 minutes left in the half to cut the deficit to 1. Jake Connors tied the game at 2 with a goal late in the second half. After Montclair retook the lead, Ward scored his final 2 goals, and the Profs completed the comeback.
The team followed up the ladies' impressive performance with a win of their own over Rutgers Camden on Wednesday night. Jake Connors scored the game-winning goal with 26 minutes remaining to give the Profs the 2-1 victory. Shane Doherty scored first for the Profs 5 minutes into the game. Brad Main scored a minute later for Rutgers Camden until Connors tallied the game-winning goal. Rowan improves to 12-0-1 overall and 5-0-1 in the conference. They look to remain unbeaten when they travel to Rutgers Newark on Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Well, Cody, with pennants in sight and pucks finally dropping, it's time to send it over to Thomas DiNapoli for this week's Pro Talk.
Thanks, Chris. Now to the wacky, crazy, unbelievable world of professional sports. On Monday, October 10th, after the Cleveland Indians completed a sweep of the Boston Red Sox in the ALDS, David Big Papi Ortiz called it a career. In his final season, Big Papi hit .315, 28 home runs, and 127 RBIs. After playing 6 seasons with the Minnesota Twins and 14 seasons with the Boston Red Sox, Ortiz finished his career with a .286 batting average, hit 541 home runs, and 1,768 RBIs. He is 17th all-time in home runs, just above Mickey Mantle. In 5 years, he will be eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we just might see Ortiz be the first ever designated hitter to go in. Over to football now, where the Philadelphia Eagles were handed their first loss of the season by the Detroit Lions, 24-23. Carson Wentz went 25 for 33 with 2 touchdowns and 238 yards. Lions quarterback Matt Stafford went 19 for 25 with 3 touchdowns and 180 yards in the win. For Wentz, he threw his first interception after throwing 134 passes without throwing one. The Eagles will travel to Washington to face the Redskins in an NFC East divisional matchup. Switching gears to golf now, where Tiger Woods, in a stunning announcement Monday, put a hold on his highly anticipated comeback by withdrawing from the Safeway Open. He was set to play competitive golf for the first time in 14 months as the PGA Tour's 2016-17 season begins on Thursday. The withdrawal came 3 days after he committed to the event. Woods also announced he has withdrawn from the Turkish Airlines Open on November 3rd to 6th. Woods is second to Jack Nicklaus with 14 majors and will have to wait and see if he could tie or break Jack's record. Now to the squared circle with Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz in a career versus title match on Sunday at the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, No Mercy. In one of the year's hottest feuds, Ziggler was able to overcome getting hairspray sprayed in his eyes and fought off members of the Spirit Squad, his former tag team. Ziggler hit The Miz with the super kick, saved his career, and won the Intercontinental Championship. With Ziggler having about a year on his contract, rumors are swirling that Ziggler is going to be getting a big push. Others say this was a move to get him to re-sign. Only time will tell the truth. That's all I have for you on this week's Pro Talk. Later, Cody and Chris have more on Rowan Field Hockey. But after the break, Kevin will sit down with players from the football team for this week's Rowan Roundtable. So stay tuned for more All Access.
Welcome back to All Access. Time for our Rowan Roundtable. Joining me are wide receiver Kevin Leinert and linebacker Jeff Rodriguez from the Rowan football team to discuss some hot football topics. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So what do you guys think is the most underrated part of football? Jeff, let's start with you.
I think the time factor, how much time we actually put in for every opponent every week, from lifting to meetings to film to practice. It takes like a majority of our week, so I guess it's really underrated. Basically, our preparation for every team that goes in every week. I think that's really underrated for us.
Understandable as a student athlete. Definitely a lot more goes into it than people realize. How about you, Kevin? How do you feel?
Time factor too. Talking about like the game plan. Like we don't play every team like they're the same. Like we watch film on our opponents on practice. And I mean the coaches watch hours of film. We watch hours of film. Like there's a lot that goes into the game plan for the week.
Definitely got to be addicted to that game film. So, how different is it playing college football now versus playing in high school?
Well, when it comes to like the game, like the speed of it feels faster because like everyone's bigger, everyone's faster, and like when you play high school, you're playing with like the kids you grew up with. But like college, it's like kids that like you're new to, but you kind of like get that family factor real quick, and it's like it's a good feeling. Like you just meet guys and you get real close to them. And it's
like a brotherhood kind of thing.
Exactly.
I understand it. Your thoughts?
I feel the same way. Like basically the game aspect, yeah, everybody's bigger, everybody's stronger, and think about it, if you're a college football player, you should be one of the top high school players. So everyone's just as good as you are coming in. But other than that, yeah, like Leonard said, in high school, you basically play with the guys you grew up with, so it's a really tight brotherhood. But in college, you kind of are new, so you have to like kind of build those relationships, like among all the players.
Got to come and improve yourself right away. Understand that. So, is the game of football becoming too soft, or is it taking the right steps towards more safety? If you look at like how the NFL is approaching it.
I'm sort of in the middle with it. I think some calls are soft and some calls are just to protect the guys, but I'm leaning a little more to the soft side since I'm a defensive player and we like hitting kids, but that's where I stand on it.
Definitely love that defense. How do you feel?
No, I think it's getting too soft too. I mean, I can understand looking out for people, but especially in the NFL, like too many calls are just like it kind of like takes away. It's just like let the players play. You don't want like the refs to decide the game.
Definitely understand that. So there's been a lot of talk over the past couple years about the idea of paying collegiate athletes. Do you feel that it's going to be a possibility for future athletes, or do you think it's going to remain how it is now with scholarships and whatnot?
I mean, I think they should pay collegiate athletes, but I don't think it will happen. I think that it's like, because you have the whole division thing, so would Division I players get paid as much as Division II, as much as Division III? But, I mean, I feel like that no matter what division you put as much time and effort as a real job, that like you should get some compensation for it, but I don't feel like it will happen. I feel like they'll kind of just keep like dancing around it.
Okay, understandable. How do you feel?
I feel the same as Kevin. I hope they did pay collegiate athletes, but I don't think they will. I think since they donate a big chunk of money for people's scholarships to go to school for free, that's basically their compensation for their 4 years of football.
Understandable. I relate to both you guys there. Wide receiver Antonio Brown of the Pittsburgh Steelers has been getting repetitively fined these first couple games into the season for having pictures of people's faces on his shoes, including in his last game, he had his children. Do you think that it is better for the NFL to be looking more uniform, or do you like the idea of individuality with players? Let's start.
Yeah, I think I like what Antonio Brown's doing as far as other guys in the league too. You know, wearing their own cleat, having their own kind of uniqueness to the game. But I think the NFL is going a little overboard with trying to find those guys and get their money in too as well.
Okay, understandable. The league seems to have like a kind of no fun kind of policy.
Yeah, I
Kevin?
feel the same way. I mean, you should be able to dress or express yourself how you want to as long as you're wearing the same uniform. But especially like for something like showing like love for your kids, like it is like a family game. Like you're out there, especially them, to make money for your family. So you should be able to show what you're working for.
Definitely, yeah. That's why that was his defense for the whole shoe thing there. So the fullback position in football, particularly in the NFL, is becoming less and less of a thing with teams. Most teams don't even have one on their active roster. Do you feel that it's going to remain that way, or do you think that one day the fullback position might resurge?
Well, I feel like football is becoming more of a passing game, especially in the NFL. So, and like a fullback, I mean, there's nothing like against fullbacks. Like I think fullbacks like are important, and like especially like ones who get their job done. But you can kind of put any like big blocking type of person in the backfield and just have them run and block someone. But
Right.
it depends on the team. Like some teams could use a fullback more than others. But the way that the league's going, especially with passing a lot, I feel like kind of like will just slowly keep like going away.
So maybe have him like come in, but really be like a defensive lineman or something like that.
Yeah, like you
kind
can
of.
just use like an extra lineman or something instead of just having like someone who's just a fullback.
Okay, makes sense. How do you feel?
I'm going to disagree with Kevin there. I feel like the fullback should be incorporated in more offenses, even though the NFL is becoming a pass-happy league. Fullbacks are a great thing to have, especially goal line. I know he's saying you could put in any guy, but you know when you got a fullback who's been playing fullback for his whole career, it's different than moving a guy, let's say a tight end or what they call in the NFL now H-back, playing tight end and fullback. I feel like it's not the same. The fullbacks that come in, I'll just throw one guy out, John Conrad. I don't know if you remember him, but
He was a beast for a couple
a
of
beast
years.
for the Jets at fullback. But I think they should need to get back into that more power teams, power offense.
All right, guys. Both a lot of good views on a lot of different things. But that is all the time we have for this Rowan Roundtable. I would like to thank Kevin and Jeff for joining us. Let's get some more updates on Rowan sports from Cody and Chris right now.
Thanks, Kevin. Now let's recap the field hockey team's games from this past week. Cody?
Thank you, Chris. Rowan's field hockey team was able to defeat Ramapo College in a convincing 6-0 showing on Friday. Goalies Carly DeMarco, Morgan Novak, and Susie Manser shared in the shutout while facing only 4 shots on net. Rowan was able to score 3 goals per half while managing a total of 27 shots for the game. Skylar Pino had 2 goals, Bridget Boyle had 1 goal and 1 assist, and Abby Tucker had a goal of her own.
The Profs field hockey team was back in action last night against Stevens Institute of Technology. The game was a close one, but it did end in a 1-0 win for the Profs. Back Abby Tucker scored the lone goal of the game in the 57th minute. Goalie Carly DeMarco recorded her 4th shutout of the season to help the team reach a 10-4 overall record. Next up, Rowan will be traveling to Montclair State University this Saturday for a 1 p.m. start.
After a huge win against the NJAC leader last week, Rowan knocked off another this past Saturday in the Salisbury Seagulls 34-30. In the shootout between the rivals, the Profs opened up the scoring with a 64-yard touchdown pass from Dante Pinkney to Deshaun Waller. Salisbury would respond to gain the lead of their own with a DeAndre Dennis 6-yard rush for a touchdown and a quarterback keeper for Brandon Lewis for a touchdown with a missed extra point. A Tyler Knighton 40-yard field goal attempt split the uprights to make it 13-10 in favor of the Seagulls. After a touchdown pass from Lewis to Aaron Moore and another Knighton field goal, it was 20-13 Salisbury at halftime. Both teams came out strong in the second half with touchdowns on their first plays of each of their drives. Pinckney connected with Zach France for a 75-yard touchdown, while Dennis powered through for a 41-yard touchdown run to make the score 27-20 Seagulls. About midway through the third quarter, Gaywin Bragg plowed through to the goal line for a 4-yard touchdown to tie the game. A Salisbury field goal gave the Seagulls a 3-point lead through 45 minutes. The game-winning score came with over 12 minutes left in the game when Pinckney found France again for a 13-yard score. The Rowan defense forced a fumble at their own goal line, and the Profs were able to recover it in the end zone for a touchback and possession of the ball. 2 turnover on downs by Salisbury sealed the deal, and Rowan knocked off another undefeated and nationally ranked team. Both teams are 4-1 overall and 3-1 in conference play, tied with Frostburg State and Christopher Newport for the top spot in the NJAC. Rowan is now ranked number 24 in the D3Football.com Top 25 poll. The Profs travel to Southern Virginia University on Saturday for a 1 p.m. kickoff.
And Profs volleyball defeated Keystone State College 3-2 on the first day of the Knights Fall Classic, hosted by Newman University on Friday. The set scores against Keystone were 25-23, 21-25, 17-25, 25-16, and 15-11. The Profs were led by outside hitter Megan Jacoby, who had 15 kills and 5 digs. Outside hitter Erica O'Hagan had 11 kills. Outside hitter Kaylee Gallagher contributed to the victory with 7 kills, 4 digs, and 3 blocks of her own. Setter Kat Wolf had 25 assists and 11 digs.
In game number 2 of the day, Rowan faced Kings College. They won 3-2. The set scores were 23-25, 26-28, 25-15, 25-23, and 15-8. Megan Jacoby collected 16 kills and 9 digs. Middle hitter Jamie Schertz helped out the cause with 10 kills and 4 blocks. Caitlin Paxson recorded 32 assists and 9 digs. Setter Kat Wolf contributed with 23 assists and 15 digs. Libero Jen Varel picked up 15 digs and 3 service aces, while defensive specialist Amy Staber added 12 digs to the stat line.
Well, coming up after this timeout, Lenny Schnee sits down with members of the football team, so stay with us.
Welcome back to All Access. I'm Lenny Schnee with this week's edition of Prof Spotlight. Joining me are wide receiver Zach France and defensive back Bobby Barberi. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So, guys, I want to start out really quickly just reviewing the team, how you guys are doing so far. You are 4-1 overall. You're 3-1 in the NJAC, which is fantastic to start the season. Just one question to start out. I want to ask you guys, this past weekend was homecoming. So how was that playing in front of that big homecoming crowd, having the alumni around? Did it affect the game at all, or was it, did it kind of just happen?
Well, I thought it was a great atmosphere. I met a couple of the alumni who got to play here in years past. And, they told me about how, the locker room was nothing like it was, the equipment was nothing like it was. So they were just saying, we're really fortunate to, to have all the stuff we have and the facilities that we have. So overall, I thought homecoming was just a great atmosphere, and it was fun to play out there.
It was certainly a great day. Zach, you're a wide receiver. You were on the field pretty much every snap on offense. How difficult was it playing in the rain on Saturday? Did it really affect your game?
I wouldn't say it affected my game. We knew it was going to be bad weather coming in, so we were looking forward to that. But receivers were gloves in the beginning. I had to take them off because it was terrible wearing the weather. But we were looking forward to it. We knew it was coming, so we just can't come with the same game plan. Just carry on from that.
All right, so like I mentioned before, you guys, you're 3-1 in the NJAC. You beat 2 NJAC opponents, 2 ranked NJAC opponents the past 2 weeks, Salisbury, Christopher Newport. However, 2 weeks ago before that, you guys did lose to Montclair State. What did you guys do after that game to adjust and come back with these 2 big wins?
Well, I thought the loss honestly brought us together as a unit. We rallied together. We knew that, after we faced the loss of Montclair, that it wasn't going to get any easier, and these teams weren't going to feel bad that we lost. So, coming into Newport first, the guys, we just came together and we put in a great week of practice, and I think it paid off playing one of the top teams in the nation, and we just went out there and, gave it our all, and we came out with a win.
Yeah, well, we know every year going, playing Montclair, them being our rival, it's always going to be a tough game. So, going up there, it's a tough atmosphere to play in. But, we took a loss that game, but like Bobby was saying, we just really came together as well. We could either went down one path or the other, and we came together, and kept fighting, kept working hard at practice, and bounced back from that. So that was good.
All right, Zach, you had a really big game on Saturday. Despite the rain, you had 4 receptions for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's now 5 on the year. You only had 1 last year, though. Is there anything specific that changed in the offense for you to go from only having 1 to now having 5 and still having a couple games to go in the season?
Well, I would say last year we were predominantly a running offense. We had our great running back, Witt, who's actually a good friend of ours. But, coming in this year, we had a bunch of guys, skilled guys that could really make plays. And, it just starts up front. So, our front 5 is doing, a tremendous job, giving Dante time, let it, rip downfield and give us a chance to go up and make plays. So that's really what it comes down to.
Awesome. Now, Bobby, back to you. You had a season-high 8 tackles on Saturday. That's a big game for any defensive player. 8 tackles is unbelievable. Did you do any special prep? Did you think that it had to do with the weather maybe, or was it just you working hard, eating your Wheaties?
Well, I think, going back to the loss, it kind of fueled us and gave us motivation for the Newport game. And I just started with practice, just coming in with a focused mindset, being ready every day to go and give it your all. And that just continued to the game. And, I thought our team played well, our offense did well, and came out with a tough win. It wasn't easy, but we were able to come out with a win.
And you did come out with that win. Great job. Now you guys are moving on, playing Southern Virginia this Saturday. Not necessarily the best team in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. However, they're definitely having a better year than they were last year. But you did beat them 59-0 last year. Now, will you guys go into this game thinking any differently of them, or are they just any other opponent?
Well, I think that, you can't look past anyone in this conference. The New Jersey Athletic Conference has some of the best teams in the country. So at any given week, any team could beat, anyone else. So, we have to come in prepared like we did for Salisbury, who was a top 15 ranked team. And we're going to treat Southern Virginia the same way. We're not looking past anyone. And, we got to go down there and play one of our best games.
Zach, getting off the bus on Saturday, how is that going to be like? It is a long ride down to Southern Virginia.
Yeah, it's probably going to take us about 5 hours to get down there, but we've, done road trips before. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but, just, staying focused, get to the hotel, check in, just get our minds right for Saturday. So we're ready to go.
All right, now, going into the Southern Virginia game, like I said, you guys shut them out last year. Now, this past Saturday, Bobby, you being the defensive player, you guys gave up 3 touchdowns on the ground. 2 of them were within the 10-yard line. Are you going to try to – is there anything special that you guys did at practice this week maybe to work on that, to try and correct that, to lock up the line on Saturday?
Well, the good thing is that Salisbury and Southern Virginia ran the same triple option offense, and which is very tough to defend. So, seeing Salisbury run it and how they do things, it gave us great preparation going into this week because we wanted to, come in and fix some things and continue to do some of the things that we did well. So having that these past 2 weeks, both with a triple option offense, I think, we'll be even more prepared this time around.
All right. Now, guys, we spoke in our little pre-interview conversation about the NFL. Your guys' favorite teams are?
Eagles.
Eagles.
You guys both like the Eagles, man. As you can tell by the blue, I like the Giants, but we can still have a productive conversation here. So the Eagles did have a tough loss on Sunday. Maybe I'm less upset than you are, but they did lose 24-23 versus the Lions. I myself was watching it. It was a tough loss. Probably, maybe some could say they should have won, but in general, how do you guys feel about Carson Wentz? He's certainly impressing me.
I like Carson a lot. Just the way he carries himself, especially as a rookie. He got caught. He was out to dinner with his girlfriend and gets caught, watching game film. That just shows what kind of guy he is. So the way he carries himself, I just feel like, he's going to be a good quarterback for the franchise. So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I would certainly be excited. That's how it was when we got Eli Manning way back when. Really quick, guys, before we have to wrap up, predictions for this week: Eagles versus Redskins. Bobby.
Eagles win, no question.
Zach?
Eagles win 35-0.
35-0? All right, we shall see. That's a bold prediction, guys. Unfortunately, that does it for this week's Prop Spotlight. I'd like to thank Zach and Bobby for joining us and taking the time out of their busy schedule to talk with us. Cody and Chris, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Lenny. Let's keep the ball rolling with more from the Knights Volleyball Classic. Chris.
Thanks, Cody. On day 2 of the Knights Classic, the volleyball team picked up the victory in their first match over Washington College of Maryland 3-1. The set scores were 24-26, 25-20, 26-24, and 25-22. Outside hitter Megan Jacoby totaled 19 kills, 5 digs, and 2 service aces. She was also named to the All-Tournament team, so congratulations to her. Outside hitter Erica O'Hagan had 10 kills. Jamie Schertz and Kaylee Gallagher had 9 kills apiece, and Gallagher also had 9 digs, and Schertz had 3 blocks. Setter Caitlin Paxson assisted 28 times and also had 12 digs.
In match number 2 of the day, Rowan fell to St. Mary's University of Minnesota 3-1. The Cardinals were led by Brandy Blather, who had 14 kills and 7 digs. Middle hitter Sarah Lynn totaled 10 kills. Setter Brittany Hansen had 17 assists and 11 digs. For the Profs, Erica O'Hagan had 10 kills. Setter Kat Wolf had 14 assists and 11 digs. Setter Caitlin Paxson totaled 11 assists and 5 digs.
And the team was back at it again on Tuesday night against New Jersey City University. Megan Jacoby was able to lead the way for the Profs with 7 kills, and outside hitters Erica O'Hagan and Kaylee Gallagher were not far behind with 6 kills apiece. NJCU was led by outside hitter Aileen Pitar, who had 7 kills and 6 digs. However, Rowan was still able to come out on top, winning the match 3-0.
The Rowan ice hockey team traveled on the road for the first time this year to face the Rider Broncs. It was not the Profs' day, as they accumulated 10 penalties to Riders 1. Also, Coach John Caulfield got thrown out of the game for arguing with the referees. The score was only 2-1 Rider after the first, but it was the second where the game got out of control for Rowan. Rider scored twice, and Rowan committed 6 penalties, including the ejection of defenseman Matt Morelli. Rider outshot Rowan 42-19 as the Broncs won 5-2.
And coming off of a rough loss against Rider, the Profs hosted the Army Black Knights in a MAC North Divisional matchup. The Profs played a much cleaner game this time, as Mike McGahee had 2 goals, and 3 of the other 4 came from new members of the team. The Profs won 6-2, and for more on this game, here's Thomas DiNapoli from Hollydale.
Napoli reporting for the Rowan Television Network at home, where Rowan faced the Army Black Knights. Rowan winning 6-2. Caught up with Coach Caulfield and talked about their ugly game last night and how they transitioned into an impressive victory tonight.
I mentioned in between periods when I was talking to Cody that the jump today was great. We came out flying, and I think the mentality was we knew we had really pooped our pants last night. So I thought kept it calm in the locker room, just explained what we needed to do. Not taking a penalty 37 seconds into a game that really made a big difference.
Talked with newcomer Aaron Segnello and asked him what it's like gelling into the system so well with his new teammates.
Mostly just playing with my line mates, the 2 Steffi twins. They're great to play with. They're hard workers. We really work well together. We're really gelling right off the start. Actually, tonight, one of them was out of the game with a suspension from last night, and Zach Landing stepped in and really played well tonight. We really got the job done.
I also talked to Mike McGahee, who's had a lot of success at home, what he attributes to that success.
I don't think so. I think it's just happened like that. I mean, we wanted to come out a lot better than we did last night, obviously, and I think we just did a good job. Everybody from top to bottom, goalies, defense, everybody just came out and played a lot better, and we got a better result.
Once again, that is the Rowan Prof 6, the Army Black Knights 2. Here at Hollydale Ice Arena, here in Sewell, New Jersey. Once again, I am Tom Snappley. Good night, and God bless.
The Profs have 2 more league games this week, first at home against Wagner on Saturday, then away against UMBC on Sunday.
Well, Chris, what a busy week it was in the world of Rowan sports, but that does it for this episode of All Access. For Kevin Cornell, Thomas DiNapoli, Lenny Schnee, Chris Devine, and the entire All Access team, I'm Cody Decker. Come back and see us next time.
Cody, now to the wacky, crazy, unbelievable world of wow. Okay, good start. Later, Cody and Chris have more from the soccer pitch. But after the break, I sit down with Lenny.
The volleyball team has a busy week.
And the ice hockey team starts league play.
This is All Access, and it starts now.
We're doing that again.
Lenny, what are you doing?